At 7:30 a.m. on April the 17th, 1975, the war in Cambodia was over. It was a unique war, for no country has ever experienced such concentrated bombing. On this, perhaps the most gentle and graceful land in all of Asia, President Nixon and Mr. Kissinger unleashed 100,000 tons of bombs, the equivalent of 5 Hiroshimas.
This is not an invasion of Cambodia. We take this action not for the purpose of expanding the war into Cambodia, but for the purpose of ending the war in Vietnam and winning the just peace we all desire. Cambodia, peace, peace, peace.
Out of the inferno of bombs came Pol Pot, a former Buddhist monk, and the Khmer Rouge, whose revolution had never enjoyed a popular base until Nixon's madman theory of war. William Shawcross, the British author, interviewed Prince Sihanouk last year. 2 men, said Sihanouk, are responsible for the tragedy in Cambodia today, Mr. Nixon and Dr. Kissinger. By expanding the war into my country, they killed a lot of Americans and many other people, and they created the Khmer Rouge. Phnom Penh is dreamlike. Nothing seems to echo from the days of peace. Then you awoke at the Hotel Royal, switched on your radio, and in all probability heard the squeaky drama queen voice of Prince Sihanouk berating you for writing an article about the financial excesses of the royal family. Sundays were a joy, especially the parade down Monivong Avenue, the parasols, the girls with jasmine astride Hondas, the saffron robes, the ice cream barrows, the hustlers, the platoons of well-fed families, the cared-for children.
In a world of saturation news, there has been no news of what was really done to more than 7 million people, of whom at least 2 million are missing, believed murdered.
We happily welcomed the Khmer Rouge because we thought, thanks God, at long last the civil war finished. However, that euphoria was short-lived.
The Chinese backed Pol Pot and his delusions of being another Mao Zedong. They saw Cambodia as a rice bowl and a future colony, as it already appears on some Chinese maps. In this rare Khmer Rouge film, we see people as slaves. Even the word sleep was banned. From year zero, only rest could be used.
For 3.5 years, this was the place where Kampuchea's communist masters, the Khmer Rouge, interrogated and then exterminated anyone they suspected of opposing them. 20,000 people died in this grim prison, once a secondary school, and at the peak, one day in May 1978, 582 people were killed here.
People were mutilated on iron beds, and their blood and tufts of hair are still on the floor. Former civil servants, soldiers, teachers, students, actors, technicians. And as they were being tortured and hanged, drowned, disemboweled, and electrocuted. In this camp alone, 12,000 people died like that.
The system was that people would be arrested either in Phnom Penh or in the countryside, brought here and forced to write confessions under torture, and after that then they would be killed.
The Kampuchean forces are still very small and consist mainly of militia or home guard, although they do have good weapons. American M16 carbines, probably captured in South Vietnam in 1975.
At the moment, while the Pol Pot regime are active in the border, the Kampuchean feel that they need the Vietnamese here to protect them.
An unholy trinity of Pol Pot, China, and America say that Vietnam is an agent of Russia. Anybody who knows the fiercely nationalistic Vietnamese, who have stood virtually alone against invaders for 30 years, knows this to be laughably untrue. But the Chinese threat and the present denial of aid is pushing both Vietnam and Cambodia deeper into the waiting arms of the Soviet Union. Both the Cambodians and the Vietnamese are fighting for their survival as never before. These children are the end of a process begun by impeccable politicians who took their decisions at great distance from the results of their savagery.
Outside every town, there's gruesome evidence of their policy of mass murder. The stench of death still hangs over this place, just outside Kampong Chom, where there are said to be more mass graves than anywhere else in the whole of Kampuchea. These people were killed first, and then their bodies thrown down this well, about 40 feet deep. And when they found it, it was full right up to the top.
They would hold the baby by the leg, by the foot, and then smash them against the tree. And they kill hundreds of babies each day.
No one knows either exactly how many Kampucheans were killed. The Kampucheans say 3 million out of a total population of 7 or 8 million. Most Western observers say around 2 million. Whatever the figure, which can never be accurately known, the Khmer Rouge not only wiped out 9/10 of the middle class and huge numbers of the urban population, they also killed thousands of peasants. Most of these people are believed to be peasants killed in 1978 at the very end.
In the West, we are told that the Cold War is over, but this is not so. The Cold War was never just about attrition between the two superpowers. It was fought mostly with the blood of faraway people considered expendable in poor countries like El Salvador and Panama, Vietnam and Cambodia. It's surely the cruelest irony of 1990 that as the Berlin Wall is torn down, the Western democracies have rebuilt its equivalent around a nation of people who threaten no one and with whom none of us have any quarrel.
bản trong